These 6 mistakes so many online coaches are doing are why they are stuck below $20,000 a month. And once you fix them, you're going to stand out instantly. You remove any confusion and friction from the whole process for yourself and for your leads and for your potential clients. You attract qualified, ready to buy leads, and you start to scale your income. So if you're an online coach who wants to get results similar to this, then here's what you need to do. Okay, the first thing is you need to be crystal clear on who you help and how. And there's 3 layers to this. And I see so many people not being crystal clear. When you come to even ask them, who's your avatar, who's your target audience, they can't even answer that confidently. So how can you, the person who can't answer that confidently, make content that's going to resonate with your target audience? It's not. So anyway, the 3 layers to this is firstly your bio. So in your bio, it needs to be, whether that's on YouTube, whether on Instagram, whether on TikTok, it needs to be really crystal clear who it is you serve. Who do you serve? Who do you help? Tell them exactly who you help. Don't be generic, because the more generic you are, the less relatable your content is going to be. And then the other thing is, it needs to be that same avatar, that same target audience. It needs to be crystal clear in your funnels. If it's not crystal clear in your bio, it's not going to be crystal clear in your funnels. If it's not crystal clear in your funnels, it's not going to be crystal clear in your marketing, and then everything is not going to be cohesive. People are going to be dropping off left, right, and center because they don't feel, or they're not going to be interested enough to actually go through whatever you're offering and see what you're offering and actually buy, because it's too generic. So you need to be crystal clear on who you're serving, so that that person can feel like what you're saying is meant for them and what you're offering is meant for them. But not only that, so that you can make everything cohesive across all the whole pipeline, so that when they're going through that pipeline, they can continue to feel like, oh, this is for me. Oh, this is it. This is for me. This is for me, and continue to build their confidence and build their trust in you, to actually be able to help them. So that's kind of a basic one, but it's so important, so very important to actually know exactly who it is you're serving. And the second thing so many coaches are doing is they give too many options and too many links. And I want to ask you a question. I'm going to show you a picture. I want to ask you, how do you feel? What is going through your head right now when you're looking at this? Okay, what is going through your head? You don't even know where to start looking. You don't even know what to start feeling. You don't even know what. You're just overwhelmed. You're like your brain is like analyzing everywhere. Okay, there's computers, there's shelves, there's books, there's papers. There's so much going on, and that's exactly how your leads feel when you offer too many things, when you're giving too many options, when you have a link tree that has like 50. Okay, 50 is an exaggeration, but when you have like so many different options, my code, my programs, my this, my that, there's so much going on that they themselves feel overwhelmed. Not just in your link tree, not just the links that you have in your bio, but also on your funnel as well. If you have a landing page, for example, if it's just too much going on and too much, different offers and different programs and different packages, it's just going to be so overwhelming. They're not going to know which to get, because they're going to be in analysis paralysis, and that's how they're going to feel going through your content and going through your funnel, and you don't want them to feel like that. Spotify playlist, I don't mean this in a horrible way, but no one cares about what you listen to on Spotify. And even if you've had a few comments, okay, cool, but it's not necessary. You're just losing focus from your leads, and the more time they spend trying to figure out where they should go, the more chance there is that they're actually going to just drop off and get distracted and leave. Just like this, just so many different options. Just the maximum that you should have is 2 options, okay? One option should be your funnel, whether that's a landing page, the VSL, whatever that is, the website. And the second one, if you do have a second one, it should be to YouTube, so to your nurturing platform, because YouTube is the biggest nurturing platform. People who watch your YouTube videos are very likely to actually end up buying from you if they're a good fit. So what is the third mistake that so many people still do as well? So I've seen so many coaches go straight to booking call. No funnel, nothing. It's just book a call. And the worst thing is, sometimes booking a call is fine. It depends on your lead quality and your lead flow. But the worst thing is having straight to booking a call, like book a strategy call, book a discovery call. But not only that, but not having any qualification process whatsoever. Literally just put your name, put your details, put your number, book your slot, choose your time slot. And that's the worst thing you could do, because when you're doing that, you're literally just inviting unqualified leads, and you're spending your time, or if you have a sales rep on the other end of it, they're spending time, your team is spending time is being wasted with people who aren't qualified. So the first thing you should do is you should always qualify leads before you hop on a call with them, before they're even allowed to schedule a call with anyone within your department, within your business. But straight to booking, 9 times out of 10, it's a bad idea. And if you are going to do it, make sure you're qualifying people with quick bullet points. And by the way, When you actually, if you're gonna qualify them on the booking page as well, which is good, what you should do is you should have options, generic options of kind of what their answers were going to be. So they can just quickly, within seconds, they don't have to sit there typing or describe this, blah, 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 blah. They can literally see, okay, this is me, this is me, this is me, and then that'll be that. Okay, so straight to booking call, in most cases, if you are doing that, something like this, then that's the mistake and that's how to fix it. But the same thing as well, the worst thing, it gets worse. The worst thing you could do is have straight to booking and then whack a $99 or whack a price on that booking. Because now the first thing is, like, most people are not going to pay for that unless the most extremely warm leads in your ecosystem, they might pay for that. But most people, 9 times out of 10, they're going to open, they're going to see, okay, $99, nah, I don't want that. I'm not going to do that. $99 it feels too risky for them, okay? So the fourth mistake so many people do, like similar to what I mentioned before, is they either have too much or they have too little qualification in the form. So you have like a straight to type form or whatever form you have to qualify leads, but they ask way too many questions. You don't need to get the lead's whole life story. It's just not necessary. Ask the main details. Financially qualify them, understand what they want to get out of this, but don't ask too many questions. There's so many questions, and I'll show you two examples here, one on the left, one on the right, of a good form, of a good kind of question and a bad kind of question, because so many people ask so many unnecessary questions. And if it's taken like 7 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes to fill out this form, most people are not going to take that time to do it. Most people are going to get bored and they're just not going to fill up the form. They're not going to finish it, and they're not going to submit the form, and then you're going to have a massive drop off simply because you're making the qualification form, you're making the application form way too complicated. And it's the same thing on the other spectrum of that, where you don't have enough qualification, like I said earlier, on the booking page, and then you are simply just hopping on calls or having people apply that are unqualified because you didn't have any friction at all whatsoever. You just wanted to open the floodgates, thinking that having less qualification, less friction is going to cause you to have more bookings. But yeah, that might be the case, but most of them are unqualified, and you're just spending so much time, wasting so many hours with people who are never going to buy from you. So the fifth thing is selling programs and features, not the outcome. I've seen way too many coaches start, for example, their VSL, start their video, or have pinned to their Instagram page, my program, my coach, my app, my my PDF. It's just not what you need. People don't need to hear exactly, or that's not what's going to trigger them to actually be part of your program. That's not going to trigger them to become your client. What they really care about is how can you help them, and with what can you help them, and then you can obviously mention, like, for example, if you're doing a VSL, you can mention, it'll be or for example, if you're a fitness coach, it'll be on my private app, you get this, that, and the other. But don't make the whole sole thing and sole marketing of your offer simply about the features. People, this is the course you're going to get, buy my course, this is the course, this course is amazing. Yes, it might be amazing, but that's not what's going to trigger people. People don't actually care about the course or how they're going to change their lives. They need to know in one way or another, what the fulfillment is going to look like, but that's not going to be the selling point. That's not going to trigger them to buy. Like I said, you need to sell the transformation. You need to trigger them on their pain points, and you need to really paint the picture and paint that transformation for them, for their desired outcome, for where they want to go. And that's the thing, when they're in that emotional state or logical state, depending, but in both states, when they start to understand, okay, this guy is offering this and he helps XYZ people, or she helps XYZ people, and it's very clear, and they're going to help me overcome this problem, this specific problem that I've been having with, and then now I'm going to achieve this outcome. That's what's going to make them actually become a client and even be interested in, to even apply to your form, to even apply to book a call, all of those things, simply because they are now focused on the transformation rather than focused on the 4 bi-weekly calls you're going to get every 2 months, or the application that you're going to get delivered, or the custom exercises. That's not what's going to make them buy. And the sixth thing, which is a whole massive issue I've seen so many times, and it's not frustrating, it's upsetting to see so many qualified coaches selling their expertise for like $19.99. One-time payment, not even monthly on a subscription base. One time, or like even if it's $99, even if it's $200 one-time payment, you are massively, massively underselling yourself. You should not be underselling it. Like, look at this guy. This guy has over 15,000 subscribers on YouTube. On YouTube. So they're qualified leads. Okay, they're nurtured leads. But he's selling for $29 a month his offer. $29 a month. Do you really think this person is gonna get rich? And it's not the whole point isn't even just to get rich. Because I know you might be thinking, oh, but I don't want to just make money out of my clients. I want to help them. Of course, it is about helping them. At the end of the day, if there's a transaction to your help, that's just natural. That's just the society we live in, the world we live in. But if you having $29 per person, having it that cheap, you're going to always struggle to make this thing full time. You're going to always struggle to get leads that actually allow you to actually focus and give them, the transformation results they want. Because the likelihood is, if you have $29 for your program and 11 members, and you're not selling anything else, you're not selling any high ticket program or anything like that, the likelihood is you still work some kind of job that's taking you away from your ability to fulfill your clients. So, you're never going to be able to actually make this full time unless you have a crazy amount of, flow of leads, which most people don't. Only the top 1% of creators might be able to get away with just simply having a low ticket. But for most of you guys who are watching this, that's not you. Okay, so the bare minimum you should do is $2,000 on a 3+ months commitment. So 2,000, which is about £1,500 sterling, and that's minimum 3 months. Okay, probably you're not going to be able to sell it for any less time commitment than that. And you can kind of play with it. It depends on how valuable you are as a coach and how much of an authority you are in the space. Some coaches, they can get away with charging $2,000 for 3 months. But my point is, $2,000, even if it's for 4 months, for 5 months, you're getting $2,000 per client, per lead. It becomes far more achievable than, for example, to hit $20,000 a month on a $20, subscription. That's 1,000 clients, 1,000 leads to put their credit card details, to put their card details down and buy from you. You see, it takes so much more effort to get 1,000 people to buy a $20 program than it takes 20 people to buy a $2,000 program, okay? So if you're an online coach who just keeps doing the things, they keep putting the effort in, they keep trying and they're posting and you've got an audience, but for whatever reason, you're just not able to get clients, people are liking your posts, people are sometimes commenting, people are engaging, you're getting views, you don't have to be a massive creator. You can have 1,000 followers and make over $10,000 per month. Because that's a whole other thing that I'm going to talk about in a separate video. But it's not just about views. It's not just about the amount of followers you have. The content, the quality of leads that you have in your audience also massively influence how much money you can make, especially if it's organically with your organic views, not paid ads and stuff like that. Then that's going to massively influence the lead quality. So anyway, if you don't want to sit here figuring everything out on your own, if you really want to just get results, and I'm not going to say, I guarantee this results in 30 days and 60 days. People have, like you can see here, had these similar results within that time frame. But the main thing is, the most important thing is, I will set you up with the foundations so that you can win for the long term. So you can actually build a long-term business that actually continually brings you money. Not just a quick, short win where I can use you as a testimonial and then all of a sudden, 2 months, 3 months later, your business is crumbling because we just used hacks to make you that money. No, that's not what we want. And if that is what you want, then don't DM me grow. But if you want something, if you want to build something that's long term, that's going to compound over time and it's going to grow and grow and grow, then DM me the word grow on Instagram. You can see the link in the description. I will see if I can help you, and if I can, we could talk about how that looks. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. If you found it valuable, don't forget to subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next one.